Hello everyone, and welcome to our weekly WeAwake group meditation. And thank you so much for being with us again. And I'm John Dupuy, and this is some of the crew, some of the team behind WeAwake. This is Louis Santos, my lovely wife Pam, our happiness minister Rex. I don't know, Heidi's my assistant. That's way beyond that. I think I'm her assistant at this point, and Sabi has the mask on. So yeah, so today we're going to go back into the annals of the WeAwake vault. I think I might have mixed metaphors, but anyway, it was one of the first big tracks that we produced at WeAwake with Eric Thompson, and it is a classic, and I think it has like 17 tracks, and I have used it, oh gosh, a lot over the years. And it's really nice because you can just start off with track one and work your way all the way through them and then come back again. And you can do just one track, or you can do 3 tracks, or you can do, 4, or if you're really looking for a breakthrough and you've got some serious stuff that you need to reckon with, you can do 2 hours or even more. But do that judiciously because it's very strong, very powerful. But that's something that I've done over the years. As I learn, when you do this practice, you initiate itself begins to teach you how to practice and how to meditate. And then you find that all these, there's 10,000 ways. I think there's a Buddhist tradition that 10,000 different paths of meditation. In your ongoing practice, you discover a practice that really works for you. So, and then you go, oh, well, the people that invented these practices in the first place, they were just like me. They were human beings practicing, and they found something that worked, and so they shared it with others, and then it got established in the transmission in the tradition. So, one of my favorite, I've been doing this for a long time, so with a little effort, I can stop thinking. Okay, it'd just be like, after practicing my tennis serve for 11 years, I couldn't hit the ball. It'd be pretty bad. So I can do that. So sometimes I'll just stop my mind, and it's like it's there and then it gets to the point where thinking is a choice. Okay, I'm going to think now or not. But another practice that I've talked about and I really love, and I discovered, and then I discovered that I hadn't discovered it, or I discovered something that was pre-existent, is centering meditation or centering prayer. And this comes out of a long, ancient esoteric tradition, and I think it was adopted by early Christians, the desert fathers and mothers in the Egyptian desert, and I think it still survives in some form in the Eastern Orthodox tradition, and it is made with Father Keating's, late great Father Keating. He was one of the ones that brought it back into more mainstream, at least the Catholic tradition. I'm sure there's Protestants that are doing this too. Quakers have kind of been doing it for a long time, for hundreds of years, a version of it. But you focus on your heart center, and then and find a word that a sacred word that seems good, like amen or thank you or namaste, whatever it might be, that when your mind wanders, you say the word and you bring your center to the heart. And the idea is when you enter into this meditation, you say, okay, God, however that is for you. Okay, Lord, hey, Goddess, however that is, I'm ready to experience your presence now. So I'm doing my double dog best to be quiet and settle down. And I'm just open to you, whatever you need to share, whatever I need in order to bring me closer to you and to be a better person, please. Not quite that long, but that's the idea. And then you just, boom, you start. And when the mind wanders, and just bring it back. And don't be discouraged, because the act of bringing your attention back to center, whether it's in breath in your nose or here or whatever center you're focusing on, that is the practice. Just like moving the weights. So when you're doing that, you're actually strengthening the pathways in your brain to be a better meditator and to be more focused. So don't despair. And Father Keating told a story when he was first introducing this. They would do it for 20 minutes. And there was a nun that said, "My God, my mind wandered for 10,000 times." And Father Keating said, "That's wonderful. 10,000 times to return to God." So let's think of that, returning to divinity. So what we're going to do today is, again, it's PMP, Profound Meditation 3.0, one of our earliest productions here, and ever good. And it is 3.0. So it is a third tier first track, and it's pretty powerful. You know, when you start getting to, I mean, they're all powerful, but you can really start feeling when you get to 2.2, 2.3, and definitely 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. So that's what we're going to do. So I invite you to use whatever practice you feel called to do, and join us with your hearts and your minds across time, across space, and let us create this and enter into the field of divine presence. So. I should do that every day. Oh, I do. Uh, yeah, that's good. Well, I wanted to remind everyone, or let you know, if you didn't know, that there's a new podcast that the team. Vanessa's not here today. She's kind of ill, and she may have COVID. We don't know. But Heidi, myself, and Roger Walsh have done a new podcast called Deep Transformation, Self, Society, Spirit. And it was a spark of inspiration in a conversation I had with Roger, which is a man I deeply respect. I have for years before we became friends. Just his depth of knowledge. He's a tremendous scholar. He's a psychiatrist, which means an MD plus some, and has a PhD in theoretical neuroscience or something like that, which he got at the same time. Which he received at the same time he was getting his going to med school. Some people, right? And there are just qualities in him that I really admire. I love his humility. He's a very humble man. He's his intelligence, his paying attention to the details, just getting it right. I mean, he's written many books, and there's a thing about being an author, and he taught for many years at the University of California. And that's not a quality I have. I'm more of the shoot, ready, aim, and trust God for the outcome. And Roger's really been good for me. Anyway, after all these years, and we were able to do this podcast, which is truly a spiritual practice in all respects. And there was a point where we just had technical problems with the first recordings, and then the pandemics hit, and we were doing these in person, and inviting the guests. We'd go to conferences and line up all these great guests, and that just, there's all kinds of issues with that. And so it just took a long time. But I recall the movie Casablanca. You guys remember that, with Audrey Hepburn? Audrey Hepburn, and I see his face. Bogart, right? Humphrey Bogart, and all the gin joints and all the world. Anyway, great Humphrey Bogart. And it's considered by many to be maybe the greatest film ever done. It's just perfection in so many ways. And that's right, top 5 in the world cinema, not just American cinema. And it's in black and white, and it was filmed before the United States became involved in World War II. So it was, it was back there, 1941 maybe, or 1940. And later on, I read a book about the making of the movie Casablanca, and it was just one problem after another. It's just and they rewrite the script every day, and nobody knew where it was going, and there was just all kinds of issues, and there were ego problems and all of this stuff, and technical problems and story problems, and just tons of problems. Nevertheless, they stuck with it, and it became a masterpiece. And I saw it one time, and I was living in California on the big screen. They brought it back, and it's just like unbelievable, great film. And so, just to say that, sometimes you just got to stick with things. And if it doesn't, at first you don't succeed, just keep trying, And if it's something that that God wants you to do, your vocation, or kind of try to get clear about these things. And even then, it takes some faith to believe you're hearing God, and we have our doubts and everything. But if you struggle through and do that, then it becomes what it's supposed to be. And sometimes the journey, if not all times, the journey is just important as arriving at the location. So yeah, that's kind of what it's been like with the deep transformation, self-society spirit with Roger. And Vanessa's not here today, as I said, but Heidi's here, and she's been a big part of this behind the camera thing. And we've had these amazing guests. And what we tried to do is to create a space where we would get, because most of these people are very accomplished and some of them are very famous, and do lots of podcasts and interviews and talks and stuff like that, but get to something underneath that, to get to more soul-centric conversations. And lo and behold, it seems to be what's happening. So I'll let you guys be the judge of it. But many of our guests have said this: I've never had a conversation like that. So we had that intentionality. And my job, among others, is to listen with an open heart and just be there and be present. And it just flows. If you've ever, worked with had a teacher or a counselor or a therapist or somebody that could just be very present when you're speaking, it seems to open channels in yourself that are very healing and transformational. And I remember one of my therapeutic or ego breakthroughs that I had in healing myself. I was in grad school, and we were had a group, and there was a woman there who just was very courageous, and she just really spoke about her pain. And she got very honest, got very real. And in that moment, something just clicked in me, and I was able to look at this thing like I'd never had before, and something shifted, and some healing process happened. And it was because of one courageous, honest woman. I never talked about it with a group, typical me, but just being in the presence of her allowed me to break through. So that's what we're trying for. And deep transformation, that's the name of the game. And as we grow and mature spiritually, it becomes ever more important that we become the answer to the questions we're asking. And first, you got to come up with the questions, right? Too, and that's part of the sacred journey. And one of the stories that I like, the Grail, Grail Castle, and the young fool Parsifal goes out. He finds the castle, but he doesn't ask the right question, right? And so then the vision goes away, and he goes through his whole lifetime, one adventure, one misadventure after another, and finally, many years later, he arrives, this old beat up, armored, dingy rusty self, and he finds the castle again. And in this version of the story, the sacred question is, whom does the Grail serve? Whom does the Grail serve? And what is the Grail? We are it. So I gave away part of it. And maybe we'll give away the rest of it. Yeah, whom does the Grail serve? Who are we supposed to be serving? What are we supposed to be doing? And when we figure that out, it changes it. The old Zen saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And some people take that just as saying, this is it, that's all there is. It's kind of a depressing thing. No, it's different. Everything has a new quality, has a new depth, has a new transparency, has a new meaning. And we can go through all the stuff and suffer more nobly, right? And eliminate some of the ignorant suffering and embrace the noble suffering that we need to go through, that we're called to go through in order to become the people that we are, in order to serve the Grail. So yeah, so check out the podcast. I think you'll be really blown away by it. And the first one is Christopher Bache. Is a man, a friend of me turned on, it must have been over 10 years ago, a book. And it was really, one of those books that really shifted something, made a difference in my life. And it was a conversation with him. And he, bless his heart, I think it was 73 LSD sessions or over the years, but just not just partying and tripping and, running around the woods or something, but very controlled with somebody sitting for him. And he retired. He did this while he was a university professor, and he came back to tell his story, what he found. And there was a progression, and everything that what he saw very resonates with my own experience. And I mean, more beyond what I've learned, but a lot of it was very resonant. And I think he's kind of holding that particular Grail for us. So it's something we'd be good to listen to, because I think he tapped in to something deeper than the 24-hour news cycle and the day-to-day stuff, and got down to the kind of the core issues of what this universe is about and what it is we are doing here and what we are called to experience on the journey. So yeah, check it out, Christopher Pace. And I think that's the first one we released. And he's a good man. The wrong vessel for that could have really got ego inflated and, behold, I'm the prophet or this or whatever, what we can do with these things. But he never did that. Very, very intelligent, very humble, very good-hearted soul. So anyway, that's what we're aspiring to. At least I am. So anyway, thank you guys for being here one more time. And Pam and I will be on the road this week, and hopefully we'll be here next time. Might be from some other place that we do it from, but nevertheless, we'll God willing, we'll be here. So thank you for being here one more time.